Hi guys, I'm Crownos and welcome to Occupy Mars. So we're going to be doing a little bit of a requested base tour and perhaps a couple of tips and tricks of what I've learned during the stream. So yeah, here we go. So without further ado, um, obviously that's kind of my base there in the distance. You can't really see a great deal of it, I'm afraid. From this angle, it's a shame we ain't got like a lookout tower or something we can really use. But here we go. This is current layout. So obviously we've got a hangar. And canteen, which is more just a large storage room to be fair, because of the lack of decorations. But there you go. A couple of workshops, greenhouse, a main lobby slash major hangar, airlock as it were, and a few domes and some living quarters. So yeah. One thing to note as well, that old bases, for some reason at the moment, at least that one, it won't let you build on top of it once you've got rid of it. So just bear that in mind. You can't really rely on that space being there. That's why I've had to kind of build it a little bit differently than what I wanted to do. Otherwise it probably would be a little bit of a different design at the moment, but we just had to kind of throw it together since we couldn't really fit it how we wanted it. Then I've got power. So these are medium solar panels. Then we've got batteries, little battery pack section right here next to the original pod that you landed in. Then we've got water over here, which to be fair does need to be much larger, but I'm waiting for a patch for the pump extensions. So anyway, I'll go and explain little bits and pieces of it, because what most of you wanted to know was how to make these power and water places expandable in the future. So yeah, let's go for it. So obviously this is just the large crusher, the big crusher, the big rock crusher that you can use. So obviously you can manufacture just about everything here, and also put like containers and tippers and things on your truck from here as well, which is quite useful. We've got a big antenna. Not really sure exactly what it does. I think it's meant to increase the range of your remote control features. I'm not really sure. If anybody knows the exact reason for the antennas, please let me know. But yeah, I've got the small, medium and large antennas as we've got here. They do need to be powered. They seem to take about 5 power. So there we are. But anyway, let's jump off over here. So I'm just going to take a quick sip while I'm here, because why not?
Water refilled.
There we go. Make sure my guy's not starving. Right, so as we can see here, we've got some like power banks, as it were, that your power ECUs, and then we've got a bunch of pumps. So with this one, from your power, you just want one cable to come over here, and then just use an ECU to kind of split it all up to power the rest of your facilities, because otherwise you'll end up with shit tons of cable trips and all across your base. So I've tried to stay as neat as I possibly could, putting my cables down. It's easier said than done in this game, but I've tried my best. But essentially, anyway, what we've got here is we've got the middle 3 are for water, oxygen, and methane. However, I wouldn't really recommend actually generating oxygen in this way, as it generates very little oxygen, just 2 liters an hour. You need around about 12 liters an hour inside your base to be able to breathe without your helmet off indefinitely. So producing oxygen using the water wells is not really the recommended way, in my opinion. So yeah, I mean, maybe you can change it up later on. I don't know. I'm not sure. If you could just prioritize just making oxygen and stuff, or just making methane and things like that, I'd prefer that. I'd rather have dedicated sections or dedicated water fields made to generating those things. So obviously the water fields are denoted by this kind of like sideways water thing, which really needs turning around really, but there you go. I don't know if I've got another one nearby, so I could really do with expanding. There's some over here. There's one over here. So they're just little water dots on the map. But personally, I don't know if I'd want to trip some pipe that far. Have I got one closer? No, probably not. There's one over there. Nah, so that's it. But so if I want to extend my water supply, I'm gonna have to bring a pipe all the way from there, all the way down here, all the way over to my base, which is, yeah, it's gonna be a pain in the ass. But anyway, so here we go. Let's carry on. So obviously we've got your pipes coming from this. So you got 3 pipes coming from these. These ones, obviously, your oxygen, your water, and your methane. So the idea, obviously, is to use a pump to join all of those together. So I've got 3 into oxygen, 3 into water, 3 into methane, which obviously then just have the one pipe coming out. So the methane and the oxygen pipes are just going directly to the base because I've only got those 3 going into one pipe. So there we go. The water, however, is a different story. You need loads of water, especially in game, and at the moment it is a little bit awkward to join them all together because we don't have the pump extensions implemented just yet. It is a work in progress. They will be adding it, but it's not quite in yet. I do assume when it comes it'll be a little bit like the power extensions where it'll add 2 extra slots onto the already pump. So I imagine it'll be another bank of like 6 pipes that you can probably attach, maybe, hopefully. I don't know, we will see when it happens, but that's what I'm hoping for. So at the moment anyway, I've got water down each side. These are just for making water. To be fair, I do need to make a lot more, but I'm waiting for the extension. So I've got 3 there and 3 there going into these pumps. So I've had to do 2 pumps because we don't have the extensions, which is then obviously generating 2 pipes. Same on the other side, so we've got 4 pipes plus 5 pipes in total, and we want them to be 1 pipe. So unfortunately, I've had to use 2 pumps to put the 5 pipes in, and then put them 2 pipes into another pump to make 1 pipe. So it's kind of annoying. It's like a pyramid scheme, really. You know, from 1 pipe to 3 pipes to freaking like 9 pipes to whatever. It gets larger and larger, and more pumps are needed. So I really do hope the extension comes pretty soon because it'll make it so much easier. But there we go. That's water. Let's head over here and sort out with power. So at the moment, I've actually got 2 banks of batteries. So you got all your solar panels, so we've got medium solar panels. I think I actually need to slightly extend them at this point, but we've got a solar field, as it were, coming into the ECU extension, so I can put 2 more extensions on that. So I probably will put more power up at some point, but at the moment I'm generating 1,000, just over 1,000, and I'm actually outputting to 2 battery banks. So I'll kind of explain why I've chosen to go for 2, maybe more eventually, because you can just kind of daisy chain them all together. But I'll explain that a little bit in a minute. So we've got 2 anyway. So obviously you bring 2 cables, which is these ones here. You can't really tell with the pile of cables, but 2 cables over here. So you want them to come into your first set of batteries, your furthest set of batteries. So I've got 1 into there, I've got 1 into that one over there, and I've actually set the output quite high. So here you can set the output pretty much to whatever you want, as high as you want it, because you want these batteries to be accepting all of the power as much as you possibly can and giving it out to the battery in front of it, as it were. So that one's fully outputting, that one's fully outputting, and that one's kind of fully outputting. Now this one is your main one that you want to kind of worry about and change and toggle as you need. So it can't ignore that because it is actually receiving 500 power, but for some reason it doesn't seem to show it because it's directly coming in, directly going out. It's a bit strange how it works, really. I think this power in is basically power in minus what's actually going out, as it were. So it will kind of change and fluctuate depending on what your base needs and what it takes. Now I've put the power out to a little bit less than what I need. So I've actually got a total of 800 because this is giving out 400 and that's giving out 400. So 800 out of the 1,000 power that I'm actually generating, because I want to ensure that the batteries are always charging, even if it's only a couple of hundred. So I've actually set this ever so slightly lower. So if you think this is times 2, it's 800. So the more batteries you get, you actually kind of want to divide your power output between those batteries if you can. Obviously, if you generate enough power, then that's great. If not, then you'll have to output more. But I've only set it to 400 on each, just so I've got long-term battery storage rather than just a short burst of energy. So that's why I've kind of split my power up. So I'm still outputting 800, which is kind of what I'm currently using for my base. I don't think I actually quite need this much power. I probably could actually reduce it even more. But currently that's what I'm giving out anyway. That's what I'm kind of outputting. So I'm getting in 800, giving out 800. But these are charging quite nicely. So this one's nearly full. This one over here should be nearly full, if not full as well. Yep, so nice and full. So obviously now these batteries will start filling up, and so on and so forth, as it were, till eventually obviously you got your battery storage kind of going. But you can expand it pretty much infinitely. Obviously, if you only want a couple outputting, you can just add on to it and just put the power in the last one and just daisy chain it like that. Just literally just a cable from one to the other, as infinitely as you want. So as much power storage as you need or require. So just bear that in mind when you're building your power packs and things. Where if you've got expandable space, just bear it in mind. But otherwise, there we go. Right, so I did spend a little bit of time also putting lights up and stuff. To be fair, the light range, the amount of space that they cover is quite limited. So I was a little disappointed with those really, but I kind of hid my little light switch around here, as it were. They're all outputting. They only require 0.2 kilowatts, which is nothing really. So I kind of just hid my my light switch around here, so you can turn it on and off as needed, if you want, just by pulling the motherboard out or whatever, or just pulling the plug out. Either way, yeah, if you really need to. So I've got a main airlock there. It does take a hell of a lot longer to open because it's a bit bigger. So you can kind of see the pressure changing there, look. But it takes a little while. It's got all the spacesuits and stuff in it, so it is just like a main entrance lobby.
I'm afraid you can't do that.
Do what? Stand in the doorway? But yes, yeah, so they take a little bit longer, but it is technically the main airlock with a lobby and all that kind of stuff. But obviously, for those of you that, oh yeah, here's all the pipes as well. So obviously you just want to run the pipes to your base, and I put them into little tanks just so they're kind of more easily accessible. But it's up to you how you kind of do it. But obviously they all just go into your base, and there you go, you're off. But anyway, for those that are new to obviously this game, you want to make sure that you do actually build a double airlock. Just so the air doesn't escape when you actually get inside your base. So I have actually got a breathable atmosphere in here. I can take my helmet off and have a bit of a wander around with the helmet off. Here we go. After a bit of hair clip. So yes, so this was my first workshop. So it's just full of workbenches at this point, and a bed. The bed you actually find in, I think it's materials, under repair kit. Don't know why it's under repair kit. You think it'd be under like survival tools or survival essentials or something like that, but yeah, repair kit and bed. So for those looking for a bed, if you've not noticed it yet, because I didn't, it took me ages, it is under repair kit. So there we go. So this is just all the standard stuff, all the workshops, all the printers, a little bit of storage, not much storage, but a little bit. And then we've kind of got like a maintenance workshop. It is a little empty right now because I moved all the food out of it that we had in there temporarily, but I've got some CO2 scrubbers. This is the main way that you want to make your oxygen. You want to fiddle about with it a little bit because you can output quite a bit. See, this one CO2 scrubber provides enough oxygen for me to breathe in the base. So the oxygen that I'm producing over at the water isn't really needed. That's why I wouldn't recommend actually kind of going into oxygen generation from your water wells. But all you need to do with these is mess around with the valves and the levers a little bit, and you can get it up over 12. So it's really easy to do. The best one that you can do is just click this valve twice. There's 3 stages. The third stage just goes back to default. So you want to mess about with that one twice. Then the one valve outside, just click that one once, and then you want to turn on one valve. I don't think it matters which lever. I don't know which. I think it matters which lever it is, but essentially this is production, and this is cooling, because you've got to keep the temperature down, and that should give you somewhere just over 12, with the temperature just below the 100 mark, which is enough to provide your base with oxygen. And you can place this structure anywhere in the base, it doesn't matter where, and it will provide your entire base. So yes, there we go. So I built a second one. It is a little random is the values, but it'll always be over 12 if you do it the way that I said. And yeah. So yeah, just build one of these and you can breathe inside. So again, just real quick, 2 turns on this valve, 1 turn on that valve, and 1 lever turned on, and that should give you over 12, enough to breathe in. So there we go. Right, let's go check out the greenhouses. So here's the greenhouse. So I've got a few things kind of growing in here. Not as much as I would like to show you, but it was taking too long to kind of get ready and done. So this is kind of what we've got to show right now. So we've got tomatoes. They do take a little while to grow, but that's the second generation of them. Pumpkins, again, second generation. No, first generation, sorry. I had 2 cartridges, I forgot. But it looks like these might have to go into a dome to finish. I'll explain that later. Then we've got corn. Up on the shelves, we've got potato. Got a little bit of cabbage, which again I think needs moving into a dome. And also beetroot, which is actually quite high nutrition, so that's good to make actually, believe it or not. And then obviously incubators. Now, again, for those that don't really fully understand the growing system or are new to the game, what you want to do is any kind of normal seedlings like your potatoes, your beetroots and stuff that you start with, you want to put them into the incubator to grow up to 50%. So they're basically like little seedlings, little saplings or whatever, little sproutings, whatever you want to call them. Because they'll grow faster in the incubator. So you put them in here first up to 50%, then move them with a seed tray. This is a nice large one, just you know. And then so you do start with a small one probably, but yeah, anyway, you can move it even by hand, but move them from there onto the shelves, and then they will grow to full maturity on the shelves, a little bit faster after growing over there. So there we go. You can actually just put the seeds straight on the shelves. You do not need an incubator if you really do not want one. However, the yields will be slightly lower and they take longer to grow. So these ones, you get a 4 crop out of these, but if you just put them straight on the shelf, you only get 3. Just something to note. So obviously you are getting about 20-25% less yield. So just something to bear in mind. But yes, there we go. Also, one other little tip as well, in the botany tree, obviously you do get like fertilizer and stuff. In the botany tree, you want to research probably quite early on, like auto fertilization or auto fertilizer or whatever it's called. Let's see if I can find it actually real quick. Where is it? Not composted. There. Automatic fertilizer extraction. You want to research that quite quickly, because even if you're not growing anything, it'll start generating fertilizer for you. So as you can see, I've got freaking loads now here. So it generates more than you can use unless you've got absolutely freaking loads growing, loads of greenhouses. So I would recommend that quite early on, so that you don't have to worry about making fertilizer, which obviously you just put food matter and stuff into here to make fertilizer. But it's just a bit of a waste. But there you go. So yeah, free fertilizer, that's all good. Now anyway, as I was saying about these ones here with the 4 stages, 3-stage plants can be grown in these fields, as you can see with the corn. But 4-stage plants, like the pumpkin, that's probably going to need moving, and the cabbage, they'll only grow to a certain stage in the other areas, despite the fact that you can still plant them there, which really shouldn't let you, to be fair. So these ones here probably do need moving to the domes. I'm not going to do that right now, although I'll do it later on. But yeah, they probably do need moving to the domes. These ones included once they're kind of capped out. I think they might grow faster in here, I'm not sure. But a bit like the incubators, but then you need to move them to the domes. But anyway, let's go and have a look at the domes. So we'll show you the domes after the very empty canteen. So obviously this is more just a storage place really. You could probably make it your main central storage in some way, shape or form. Hopefully it'll release... oh, this is also where you can charge your suit as well in the canteen, for those of you looking for sockets inside your base that you can actually charge on. This is one of them. I do wish there were more power terminals around, or that it were faster, or that there were battery charging facilities, which he has said that he's implementing. He's implementing a charger plus some taps as well for water and things, so hopefully that'll come out pretty soon as well. So that's where obviously the main lobby airlock is, so we'll ignore that for now. We've got the main HQ, which just gives you a bit more of an advanced kind of 4-way connector, plus an upstairs with a view window. Obviously you can't really see anything because it's dark, but there you go. Yeah, so obviously as we continue over this way, we've got our living quarters. I'll show you living quarters real quick. So in here, you've got your bath. I've got my bathroom. You can't actually use all the facilities, so you can sit in the toilet, you can use the shower, but the best part is the water in the tap.
Water refilled.
So again, for those looking for a way to refill your water bottle or your active water bottle inside the base, there you go. Use the tap, and then obviously you've got your actual living quarters. There's a couple of med packs in here that you can steal. So one little tip that you can do is actually build your living quarters and then just delete it, and you'll get 2 med packs for nothing. It's a bit of a glitch really, but there you go. So I'm just going to sleep just so it's daytime when we're looking around inside the greenhouses, the domes, just so you can see, because otherwise it is a little bit dark. So just wait for the guy to kind of wake up. At least you get a little bit of a view of the base, I guess, from a more bird's eye view. If the sun comes up, there we go. Ah, instant. Yeah, you didn't really get to see a lot of it there, but there you go. Maybe I should have slept a bit longer. You might have been able to see a bit better. But anyway, let's once it's finished saving, we'll go and have a look at the dome. There we go. Lovely. Right, let's go. Oop, this way. Don't get lost in my own base. Right, so we'll head this way over to the medium dome. So this one's the medium dome. I'm actually growing apple in here at the moment. It has actually fully grown. So you get 7. Can we actually see any apple? Oh, there we go. Look, it's like a nice red lady apple. Oh, those are really nice. Those are some of my favourites. But there you go. Yes, we've got some nice red apples. So you got 2 plots in here. You can actually place individual plants in here. So obviously I've just shoved apple in it because it's what I had most of the seeds for at the beginning. But you can only put 1 type of plant in each plot. So if you put apple in there, that's all you can put in there. If you put, I don't know, the oxygen trees in there, that's all you can put in there, so on and so forth. But yeah, one thing to note as well though is that I have noticed that once they've grown, as the apple trees are, they require slightly less water, about 22-23% less water. So bear that in mind. If you're a bit short on water, you want to lower your costs a little bit, because I'm pretty much on the brink there, as you can see. You can actually come and lower your water supply if necessary once they've fully grown. So they do look quite nice. So I have spread them out a bit just so it kind of fills the room up a little bit, but they do look very nice. There's actually more plots. Oh no, it won't tell you because I haven't got a seed in my inventory, but there you go. Yes, so let's head over now to, let's go check out the small one next. So this is probably the first one that most people are going to build. It is literally just a 1 plot kind of room. Will this one show? Now I think I definitely do need a seed in my inventory. But these are the oxygen plants. It doesn't actually say how much oxygen it generates. It would be nice to know. I'm sure it used to say how much oxygen it generates. At least when you're looking at the little plants in the greenhouse, it tells you how much oxygen it's generating. But it must be generating something. I'm not entirely sure how much, but it is generating something. It must be. But this is just the first planting of these trees. As I only had 5 seeds to begin with, so there we go. But again, obviously the demand has gone down for water, so again just bear it in mind. Yeah, there we go. So let's go to the largest dome in the game at the moment, at least, the big dome. So I planted a little bit more in here. This is the one that's probably using most of my water at the moment. It's using about just short of about 8, 9, maybe 10 nearly of water, just this one dome, and I barely even started in it, so you do need a freaking lot of water. So once the pump extension comes out, I'll be massively expanding that. But I planted a few things in here. So over here, this is one of the stage 4 plants that I was talking about, peppers. So you can actually see some peppers on the plant somewhere. There's one hiding just underneath there somewhere. You can't really see it anyway. Yeah, oh, there you go. You can see it a bit there. Look on the right hand side. It is a bit rubbish. You think you better see it a bit better, really, but there you go. So yeah, so the stage 4 ones seem to need to grow in the domes. So you've obviously got like proper farm fields in the domes. Technically, again, this was only the first batch because I only had 5 seeds. Same with this poplar. I don't know what the poplar's for. Maybe it's just for generating oxygen or just to make it look nice. I don't know. But I'm growing poplar. So here we go. And then obviously spruce. So we've got spruce. This is like the second generation. You get an absolutely loads of seeds after your first generation. It's quite good actually, to be fair. But I've just kind of planted a few about in some weird shape, kind of pattern or whatever, just to kind of spruce it out. And then I've got an empty field, which I'll probably move the cabbage or the pumpkin or whatever over here, as it seems to require a field to grow. Like I said, it is annoying that you can't mix and match the fields a little bit, because once you put like peppers in here, like this one for instance, you can only put peppers on this field, which is it's yeah, it's a hit and miss really. It's a bit so you probably do want to really think about and prioritize kind of like what you want to actually plant in these particular fields and things. Like, you know, whether you want crops in here or whether you just want decorative ones in here or a mix or anything like that. But there we go. So yeah, there we are. So we'll leave it there. So that's basically my base. Yeah. So that's pretty much everything. So we've got power. We've got, which is expandable. Obviously, we can expand that in whichever way. This way, batteries again expand anywhere over this way. It's infinitely expandable. The water, however, obviously it's only a certain radius on the water patch that's there on the darker patches, so you are quite confined with that really, unless you've got multiple water sources nearby, which probably might not be a bad idea if you do want to choose somewhere else to build your base rather than the default start location. If you can find one with just like I don't know, a couple of water spots nearby, like I know there's one where there's a couple there. Look, oh no, that's not it. There's one water there though. And there's one, is that one? Yeah, one there. So there's one there, there's one there. So maybe if you like picked a base location somewhere in the middle somewhere, you could probably get water from both a little bit easier. Or, I mean, you can just run cables for miles and miles and miles if you really wanted to, but there we go. So yeah, so that's you know, that's my little base tour. Hopefully I've answered any questions that obviously those that have requested this have asked. Hopefully I've answered those questions. But if you've got, anybody's got any more questions, if I didn't cover something quite well enough that you want a bit more kind of info on, maybe a bit more of a specific kind of like tips video on one specific thing or whatever, just let me know and I'll try and do it as quick and as best as I can. But yes, I do like I said, I do apologise for the delay in getting this video out. It was requested a good few days back, but I've just been busy with some other streams and obviously work and just life in general. But here we are, it's finally out. Hope you guys enjoyed. As I say, any other suggestions or anything like that, leave a comment. Jump in my Discord. My Discord's always open for game suggestions and tips and feedback and things like that, or just to chat and hang out. And yeah, hopefully all you guys enjoyed. For those of you that are new, don't forget to follow or subscribe so you don't miss out on any future streams and tips and giveaways, like my V-Rising giveaway that I'm doing right now. I'm doing multiple V-Rising giveaways, so make sure you stay tuned on the V-Rising streams. Yeah, join in, maybe get a free game, and yeah, there we are. So hopefully all you guys enjoyed. Hopefully it was helpful, and hopefully I'll see you all guys next time.